I want you to just consider for a moment the alternative. We talked for a moment last week about the way in which we naturally, especially because many of us have been born and bred with Western cultural values, and so we naturally kick against the goads when the Bible tells us that God is holy and will judge sin. And that sounds distasteful. But I want you to consider, what if there was a God who did not judge sin? What if there were no judgment? Do you realize that if there is no judgment, then in the final analysis, nothing in this life matters? I've used this illustration many times, and I have yet to come up with another one, so I'm going to use it again. Would you imagine, in order to try to grasp this reality, imagine for a moment that you're falling from an airplane. This is why I can't come up with a better one. It sounds very youth pastory, falling from an airplane, but we're going to go with it for this morning. You're falling from an airplane, and you're parachuting with a buddy, and you pull your chute, and your chute doesn't go off. And so you pull your backup, and your backup doesn't go off. And so you look to your friend, and your friend has the same problem. What has happened? Someone has really screwed you over. You're falling towards the ground faster than you can imagine, and you're going to die in a moment. Now imagine that your friend turns to you and says, "Give me your wallet." And somehow he has a knife, and he pulls it out, and he threatens you. "Give me your wallet." What would you do in that moment? Well, every person that I've asked this to has always said the same thing. I'd throw my wallet at his face. I'm going to be dead in 5 seconds. It doesn't matter. Do you realize that if there is no judgment, then all of life is like that? It doesn't matter in the end whether you do good or you do ill, because we're all going to the same place, to the ground. If there is no judgment, it does not matter whether you follow the principles of MLK or the KKK, because we will all be level in the ground in the end. It doesn't matter if you're the gunman or if you are gunned down. In the end, we're all going to the same place. If there is no judgment, nothing really matters. The only way that you can live in a world where you believe there's no judgment is if you ignore this reality. But there are moments in your life in which this reality bursts forth and your heart tells you, no, there has to be more than this. I know that there is more to life than just whatever. Moments in life in which something bursts forth and you say, no, there has to be more than this. The Bible announces that the reason that happens, the reason that there are these moments in life when we say, no, there has to be a sorting out, there has to be a reckoning, is because Ecclesiastes 3:10 says God's placed eternity in your heart. You know there has to be a reckoning, and that is what God's judgment is. It is a holy, pure, judicious, evenly handed reckoning in which God will right every wrong and restore His created world, ridding it of the horrors of sin and bringing in an era of righteousness and peace. God's judgment gives meaning to life. And without it, nothing matters. Only in a world in which there is a holy God who will bring us to account does life have a fundamental and ultimate end. God's judgment is a holy judgment, and it gives meaning to your life.